Sir, I need you to calm down right now. Calm down, you're the one yelling. Put your hands down, now. Enough, both of you.
The airport was buzzing with the usual rhythm of travel. Rolling suitcases rattled across the polished floors. Flight announcements echoed overhead, and passengers hurried through the terminal trying not to miss their flights. Among them was a man who looked like any other travel icon. Focused and quietly confident. He wore a simple navy suit, carried a small leather briefcase, and moved with the kind of composure that came from years of discipline and leadership. Asterisk. His name was Marcus Ellison. Asterisk. To the people around him, he was just another passenger boarding a late afternoon flight from Chicago to San Francisco. No cameras followed him. No assistants surrounded him. No one in the boarding line realized they were standing next to the CEO of one of the most powerful technology companies in America. Marcus preferred it that way. For years he had traveled without drawing attention to himself. Despite running a company valued at tens of billions of dollars, he believed that respect should come from character, not titles. But on this particular day, something happened that would shake an entire airline industry and cost a corporation billions. Asterisk. Marcus stepped onto the plane and located his seat to a first class, right by the window. He placed his briefcase beneath the seat and sat down quietly. He had an important board meeting waiting for him in California the next morning, and the flight would give him time to review several strategic reports. Asterisk. A few minutes later, a flight attendant approached. Asterisk. She glanced at Marcus briefly, then looked down at her tablet. Asterisk. Excuse me, she said sharply. Can I see your boarding pass? Marcus nodded politely and handed it to her. She looked at it again, then frowned. Asterisk. Sir, I think you may be in the wrong seat. Marcus blinked. I don't believe so, he replied calmly. Seat to a attendant hesitated, clearly uncomfortable. Well, this seat is reserved for a premium passenger. Marcus paused. Yes, he said, that would be me. The flight attendant gave him a tight smile. Sir, I'm going to need you to move to economy. Asterisk. The surrounding passengers began to notice the conversation. Some leaned slightly into the aisle, curious about what was happening. Marcus remained calm. I paid for this seat, he said gently. You're welcome to verify it. Asterisk. Instead of verifying, the attendant sighed and walked away. Asterisk. A few minutes later, she returned, this time with a supervisor. The supervisor barely looked at Marcus before speaking. Sir, we need you to vacate this seat immediately. Marcus slowly closed the tablet he had been reviewing. May I ask why? Asterisk. The supervisor crossed her arms. Asterisk. Because this seat is for first class passengers. Asterisk. A ripple of tension moved through the cabin. Marcus kept his voice level. My boarding pass says first class. The supervisor looked irritated. Something must be wrong with the system. Either way, we need you to move. Marcus took a slow breath. I will happily move if you show me the error. Asterisk. Instead of responding, the supervisor signaled toward the front of the plane. Asterisk. To airport security. Officers stepped aboard. Asterisk. Now, the entire cabin was watching. Asterisk. One passenger quietly pulled out a phone and began recording. Asterisk. The supervisor pointed at Marcus. Asterisk. This passenger is refusing to comply. Asterisk. Marcus looked genuinely surprised. Asterisk. I haven't refused anything, he said. I simply asked for clarification. But the moment had already escalated beyond reason. One of the officers spoke. Asterisk. Double quotes. Sir, we're going to need you to come with us. Asterisk. Marcus glanced around the cabin. Dozens of eyes stared back, some confused, some uncomfortable, some quietly supportive. He slowly stood. Very well, he said. The officers escorted him down the aisle. Someone whispered, this is ridiculous. Asterisk. Another passenger murmured, he didn't even do anything. Asterisk. Outside the aircraft, Marcus calmly pulled out his phone. He dialed a number. The call lasted less than 60 seconds. Asterisk. Inside the plane, the flight attendants resumed preparing for departure as if nothing had happened. The supervisor seemed satisfied that the situation had been handled. Asterisk. But 30 minutes later, everything changed. Asterisk. Inside the airline's corporate headquarters in Dallas, phones began ringing simultaneously across multiple executive offices. Asterisk. First the legal department, then investor relations, then the CEO's private line. Asterisk. Executives stared at their screens in disbelief. Asterisk. The name appearing in the incoming calls was impossible to ignore. Asterisk. Marcus Ellison, not just a passenger, the founder and CEO of Ellison Dynamics. Asterisk. A technology giant whose cloud Infrastructure powered thousands of global corporations, including major systems used by the airline itself. Within minutes, the airline's top leadership learned what had happened. And worse, video from the plane was already spreading online. Passengers had captured everything. The confrontation, the accusation, the security escort. Millions of views began appearing within hours. Social media exploded. People weren't just outraged by the treatment of Marcus, they were stunned by the airline's mistake. News outlets quickly picked up the story. Commentators began asking the same question. How could an airline remove a paying first-class passenger without even checking the system? But the bigger shock came later that evening. Marcus Ellison issued a short public statement. It was calm, professional, and devastating. He explained that the incident wasn't just about him, it represented a broader failure of accountability and customer respect. Then he announced something no one expected. Ellison Dynamics would immediately suspend all technology partnerships with the airline pending a full investigation. That single decision triggered a financial earthquake. Investors panicked. The airline depended heavily on Ellison Dynamics data, infrastructure reservation systems, logistics platforms, and security integrations. Without those services, operational disruptions were inevitable. Within 24 hours, the airline's stock dropped sharply. Market analysts began calculating potential long-term damage. By the end of the week, the company had lost nearly $52 billion in market value. Financial commentators called it one of the most expensive customer service failures in corporate history. Meanwhile, the video continued, circulating online. Millions of viewers watched the moment Marcus was escorted off the plane. But what struck people most wasn't anger. It was his composure. He never shouted, never argued. Never insulted anyone. He simply stood up and walked away with dignity. That quiet confidence made the story even more powerful. As pressure mounted, the airline released a public apology. They promised a full internal investigation. They suspended several employees involved in the incident. But by then the damage had already been done. Trust had collapsed. And in the age of viral accountability, reputation can crumble faster than ever before. A week later, Marcus appeared in an interview with a major business network. The host asked the question everyone wanted answered. Did you know what would happen when you made that phone call? Marcus smiled slightly. No, he said. I simply believed that respect should never depend on who someone is. He paused for a moment. Every passenger deserves dignity. The clip spread just as quickly as the original video. People across the world began discussing the deeper message behind the story. This wasn't just about a billionaire CEO. It was about assumptions, about how quickly people judge others based on appearances. And about the importance of treating every person with fairness. For Marcus, the lesson was simple. Leadership isn't about power. It's about responsibility. Months later, the airline implemented major policy changes. New verification systems, improved training programs, and strict procedures for handling passenger disputes. Industry experts even began calling it the Ellison strategy, a reminder that small moments of disrespect can lead to massive consequences. As for Marcus, he returned to his work quietly. Building companies, developing technology, leading one of the world's most innovative organizations. But the story of that flight remained a powerful reminder. In a world where status often defines treatment, true character reveals itself in moments of conflict. And sometimes the calmest response carries the greatest impact. Because respect should never require recognition, and dignity should never depend on a title. It takes is one moment, one decision, one phone call, and the entire world can change.